Happy Tuesday, everybody. Guess what? I love bread. So I'm gonna show you how to make bread. Today, we're gonna do a chorizo jalapeno cornbread that's paired with this beautiful, beautiful pork chop. In order to make bread, you need yeast. Yeast. I have active dry yeast here. We're going to add a little sugar to the yeast. That's gonna feed the yeast so it opens up. We're then going to do a cornbread mixture with pickled jalapenos, chorizo. I have all-purpose flour, corn flour, a little bit of sugar, some water, easy like that. So what do you say we get this bread bowl mix in? All right, first we're gonna turn our oven on. I have my convection oven here. The convection oven is blowing air, hot air, all around so that it circulates evenly, so that my bread will cook evenly, nice and crusty on the top and bottom, nice and moist and juicy on the inside. We're gonna take our dry, fresh chorizo and we're gonna dice it up small. We're gonna take our jalapenos and do nothing. We'll let the machine break them up. First, we're gonna take our active dried yeast. Now, it's not active yet because we haven't added any sugar, water, or anything to it yet. So we're gonna take our yeast and we're gonna activate it. We're gonna pour it into our KitchenAid. With the yeast, we need to add sugar. The yeast will feed off the sugar and then bloom will activate. We're doing cornbread, so we're gonna make it a little bit sweeter than usual. We're now gonna take our, this is an unmeasured, quick and easy bread. So we're gonna have semolina flour. This is gonna give us a little rustic. We're gonna add our cornmeal. That's gonna give us our cornbread. And then our all-purpose flour. You don't need to buy self-rising flour if you're using yeast. You can, but it's not necessary because you're already activating with the yeast. So again, we're not measuring anything. We're doubling the flour. It's 2-to-1 all-purpose flour to cornmeal and 1/4 of semolina flour. Now we're gonna get that baby mixing. Get all the dry ingredients going so that they're fully mixed. So when we have the wet ingredients, it incorporates evenly so that we don't have these fluxes of bread and bubbles and things. Take some warm water, cooler than body temperature water. This is gonna activate the yeast. We're gonna add it in slow, teaspoon at a time. After the first add goes our ingredients. I added the ingredients there now because the jalapenos have been soaking in vinegar, so there's moisture involved. We don't want to add too much moisture. The humidity in the air has moisture. That will create a bread problem if you go too far. So we want to keep adding things slow. Olive oil, a little background flavor. Keeps the bread nice and loose and flaky. We need to add a little salt to season it because we want the bread to taste good. We want to taste all those ingredients that we're putting into it. And now we're going to add our water until the bread starts coming together. A little bit at a time. Go slow, there's no rush. If you don't have a rush, then don't make it a rush. A little bit more. See how it's starting to come together? That's what we're looking for. You'll probably stop that. You can always add more water. You can't add more flour because the flour will clump and then you'll have these lumpy chunks of starch in your bread. So you want to kind of, I'm doing it like the easy way. I'm not kneading it. I'm letting the machine do all the work. I'm going to then give it a little tug around because I want it to smooth it out. That. If you mix it too much, the glutens in the flour are going to get tight and you're going to have a very, very stiff, hard bread. All right, so we're going to take a little all-purpose flour, dust it on the table here. In the meantime, we're going to cook and spray the inside of whatever mold you want to make your cornbread out of. And then we're going to take a little bit of flour and we're going to dust the inside of that. Just a little bit. Shake it around so that when the bread bakes, it don't stick. And then whatever else, just knock it out. Okay, put that on the side. Don't forget, you have flour, you have cornmeal in here. It's okay if it's a little bit wet because the cornmeal is going to absorb the liquid and the flour on the table is going to absorb that liquid as well. So that's why we're only dusting it a little bit. And then we're just going to knead it until it's smooth. That looks like a beautiful thing. Now, we're going to take our olive oil and we're going to, inside of a bowl, and then we're just going to mix the bread around in the olive oil. After we've oiled the bread and put it into the bowl, we're going to put it on top of a warm, dry place so that the yeast has a chance to rise and proof. That's going to give us those airy bubbles, that crunch that we're looking for in our bread. We wrap it in plastic. Wrap it in plastic because we don't want the top of the bread to dry out. And we're just going to put it in a warm place. How about on top of the stove? This is going to take in and around 45 minutes. It's going to double in size. And then we're going to press it into our pan and get baking. So now we have our proofed cornbread dough. See how it's nice and airy, nice and fluffy? We're going to gently pull it out of our mold. And we're going to press it in gently and evenly. Make some indentations with our fingers. That's going to give us a little like a focaccia kind of cornbread. And then we're going to pop it in the oven. This is going to take about 30 minutes at 350. We're going to take a quick look at our cornbread because I want to cook a pork chop with it. So we got our nice loaf of crunchy on top chorizo jalapeno cornbread. Let it cool right there. We're going to look at it while we're cooking our pork chop. We want it. We want it. We want it. All right, hot pan, oil. I took our pork chop and I dusted it on one side with a little seasoned flour. Push it in so it's even. We're gonna season the other side of it with salt and pepper. We're not gonna turn it, and we're gonna put it in the oven just like that. That little bit of flour is gonna give a nice crust on one side. While that's going on, we're gonna take another pan with some oil. Get some sizzle on them nice little diced peppers. Just for a sec, a little bit of salt. We're gonna deglaze the pan with white balsamic or sherry vinegar or regular balsamic, whatever vinegar you want, or red vinegar. Not necessarily the black balsamic, but I like the white one. It's got a little fruit to it. Little fruit, little bit of acid. We're gonna do equal parts honey. About a tablespoon or so. And then a spot of carrot juice. Fresh squeezed carrot juice. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of earth. And a lot of color. Then we're just gonna kind of make a loose sauce because I want to use the pan from the pork to finish this sauce. That's gonna bring it down, get all the stuff off of the pork chop pan, all those goodies, all that flavor. So a pork chop probably needs about, 12 minutes. It's okay to serve pork medium, nice and juicy. So I'm gonna give it a flip. See how it's starting to get nice and white? Flip it up. Look at that crunch. That flour is gonna give us that crunch we're looking for. In the meantime, we're gonna get some nice greens. I got some arugula, I got some sprouts, I got some microgreen flowers, sunflower sprouts, pea sprouts, marigolds, edible flowers. We're going to unleash the bread. Should be easy because we treated it. Spray, flour. Oh, heard that? Voila. Now, it's nice and still warm. Beautiful. It's fun. Let's taste it. See what happens. There you go. See that? Jalapeno, chorizo, cornbread. Who loves cornbread more than butter? Yeah, I'm doing it all. I don't care. Oh yeah, that's right. Thanksgiving's not far, right around the corner. That's gonna be impossible. You make this 2-3 days ahead of time, put it in the refrigerator, in plastic wrap, cut it, make cornbread stuffing. I'm gonna cut a nice thick square. Nice rustic. We'll let that butter on there. The heat from the cornbread right out of the oven, that's gonna allow that butter to melt. I have a little garlic vinaigrette for our salad. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's get our pork chop out and let's finish this sauce. All right, look at that. Nice, beautiful. Put that on the heat. I'm gonna get rid of some of this oil, just a little bit. So, let it rip. And then let it reduce. We want to reduce the sauce. The reduction of the sauce will give us those intense flavors that we took so hard to put into it. The honey, the vinegar, the peppers. I'll just bring it down until we got a nice little glaze. Let's remove our pork chop from our sauce. Get all the nice good stuff, all the peppers. And you have something to dip your cornbread in. Good people, bread 101 is done. Pork chop, chorizo jalapeno cornbread, a baby arugula salad with a honey carrot reduction.